What's up, YTPC? Uncle Willie coming to you from the coop. Friday Eve. Let's see. Smoking my Ardor, the one I call the Horny Dublin, the Urano series from 2014. I like the blue stem on it. Pretty cool. Some of you may know that when you see this pipe, you know that it's dedicated to a certain blend. And that certain blend is Revor plug. So yesterday, I told y'all Amazon just drove by and hopefully they were dropping off my insert. Well, before I finished my video, I seen the mailman going back up the road, so I knew that he had brought the mail. So when I got off the video, I looked at my email and it said my package had been delivered from Amazon. How was your delivery? It's a whole nother story. But anyway, I went out, got that, and I went down to the mailbox and I had a little envelope package in the mailbox. What Amazon brought me was a new Zippo. $12.50 off Amazon. And it's funny because it was shipped from Lighters USA. I have looked at that website before and they are a little more costly than most places. Like Amazon usually finds stuff cheaper, but it didn't say where the third party was that it was coming from. So little cool sticker on it. I mean, that's all they are. A well-made sticker that'll last. It's not like a bumper sticker or nothing. So I got that in the Amazon box. What I got in the envelope was the insert that came through the mail. And now I'm confused because the insert might have came from Lighters USA and this came, anyway, they both came yesterday. I ran out of fuel filling this one up. And I got one of those little Zippo canisters that carry some spare fuel, so when you run out, when you're out and about or whatever, it carries a flint and a little canister like that with some fuel in it. Worthless. I tried filling this up with the canister, and I'll show it to you tomorrow along with some other Zippo items and stuff, but it doesn't feel like you would expect it to work. So I went up to the little head shop around the corner to get some fuel, the Zippo fuel, so I could fill up this lighter, and it does have the pipe insert. Of course it works, it's a Zippo. So while I was there, I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about this for quite a while. I sent Corvette Jim, old CJ, I sent him some samples a while back of some 1792 flake and some cob plug, which, as most of you know, cob plug is 1792, but plug form, not flake. Very dense, hard plug. So Jim was going to smoke it in a video one day, and he said, I'm lazy, I don't like to rub out the tobacco, and he pulled out this little grinder that is made for weed or herbs or whatever you want to use it for. Usually when you get them at a head shop, they're usually for non-tobacco products. So anyway, I picked one up while I was there. You see those little fan type, well, he's got these little knurls inside of it, and you can see how they're sort of sharp on the edges. They have matching knurls on the top, but they don't touch when you put it together. These, the silver ones, run in between the gold. I'm not crazy about the colors because I guess it's a Jamaica, you know, like a Rastaman. But anyway, this is the only one they had with a crank, and I wanted to crank them. Does it make it any better than the ones that you use by hand? Not really. I just wanted to crank. So I ground up some cob plug. You have to have it halfway prepared for it to work because it's so dense. So I took a chunk of the Revor plug, put that in here, and it worked out pretty well. And I put enough in there when I ground it all up. I had enough in there to fill this bowl, and it filled it to the top with just a little bit left. And of course I put that back in the jar. And it's a great grind for this tobacco. It doesn't make it a ribbon, it doesn't make it a coarse cut, it just makes it a grind. Not powdery, but sort of semi-fluffy. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I got me a grinder, so I'm going to grind up some couple different flakes. Just see how it works out. Just play with it, you know what I mean? I'm going to put some 1792 in there and grind it up. I got some old dark fired. I'm going to put that in there and see how it works out. It'd be great if you wanted to blend a couple flakes. Put half a flake of each of two different blends in there, mix it up. It work out pretty good like that if you wanted to mix something 50-50 or, you know, whatever. So, as most of y'all know, on Wednesdays, also known as Hump Day, I pick up my granddaughter and take her to gymnastics. Finish it off, the rest of that coffee. I needed it. So when we get to gymnastics, she usually falls asleep on the way there, so I give her a couple minutes. We go in at like 10 to 4. We went in, she went into the big room and gathered with her squad and everything. We told each other, love you. I'll see you next week, Peanut. She's like, okay, Papa. And I always tell her, last thing I say when she goes in that room is, I'll be outside if you need me. And she says, okay. So I wait outside till her mom gets there, just in case anything happens and they need an adult for decisions or whatever. I'm an emergency contact, so I'm outside. When my daughter gets there, I leave, and of course she stays until it's over. Well, this guy, and I was smoking a pipe, looking at YouTube and whatever, and I've seen this guy coming from across the parking lot, walking in front of my vehicle, and he started to go up the sidewalk. Well, the car he got out of was leaving. It looked like probably his wife or girlfriend or whatever, but he had a young boy with him, probably 5, 6 maybe, I don't know. Then he turned around and hollered at the car and was waving her to stop. So he walked over to the car. Well, at that point, I knew he had forgot something. What? I didn't know. So of course, being nosy, I'm just sort of like looking over there to see what he's up to. He reaches in the car, which she reaches down between the seats or whatever, hands him his gun. So at that point, he was not ready. Don't take your gun off your person and put it in your car. If you have a hijack holster that holds your gun in place, that's one thing. But just to take it off and put it in the car because it's probably not comfortable. Because when he got it, he turned around and he pulled his shirt up and he was positioning it inside his waistband, which he was wearing jogging pants, sweatpants, pulled up above his knee so they sort of looked like shorts. Now, I don't know if he was doing the gangster carry and just stuck it in his belt, which they make jogging pants that are for carrying. I don't know if that's what he had or not. But anyway, he was not ready. He was putting it down inside of his pants, and I don't know if he had a holster or not. So when he walked by, when he got it, I just gave him that dead tree look. He never looked at me, but if he did, he was going to know that I knew that he didn't have his gun. He had left it in the car. It's a bad mistake, in my opinion. And so, speaking of bad mistakes, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, what I think one of the worst things the vehicle manufacturers ever done, and that's put a backup camera in a car. If you can't back up your car by using your mirrors, you don't need to be driving. The backup camera is only for guidance. I watched this guy pull in yesterday. 3 attempts, and finally parked, and he was crooked in the parking spot when he finally stopped playing around and never looked at either one of his mirrors, not even one time. He pulled in, put it in reverse, looked straight at his dash, and started backing up. And when he backed in, like my head is about centered between my hands. When he backed in, he was like this, over the line. So he pulled out, backed up again, and this time he was like this. 3rd attempt, he pulled out, backed up in, and he was over to this side. In the line, but 3 attempts to get inside. When you pull up and you're gonna back into a spot, mentally visualize where those lines are, and try, when you pull up to back in, try to center yourself up between those 2 lines from where they are when you get ready to pull in. If they're on this side of you, look where they are and turn and let the front of your vehicle start turning right at where that line is on this side. So you pull out and then you're centered in the parking spot. Then just back in. Look at your mirrors. My car has a camera. I don't use it. When you put it in reverse, right across the top of the screen, it says check your surroundings. Well, it don't know me because I try to be aware of my surroundings everywhere I go. That's part of being ready. Be aware of your surroundings, people. If you go in a restaurant, look for all the exits. If something starts going down, run to the kitchen. There's an exit in the kitchen. run to the kitchen. If the threat is back towards the kitchen, go out the front door. The best thing you can do when a threat appears is avoid it and get the hell out of there. If you can't avoid it, then you stand your ground and do what you got to do. Just because you carry don't mean you have to be involved in something that happens. If there's something going on over there and you got a clean path to get out of there, get out of there. It's not your threat. Get out of there. Same way backing up the car. Be aware of where your lines are. Look in your mirrors. Look all around. When I pull up, I put my car in reverse. I look at that camera right off the bat for one thing, to make sure there's nothing on the ground where I'm getting ready to back up to. And then I look in my mirrors, because your mirrors will extend farther than the lines. So you can see out farther than what those lines are, that's where your camera stops. Follow me? Some cameras, like my wife's car, has got two lines, and when you turn the wheel, they move. Even though your car hasn't moved, they move. And they are showing where your car is going to end up when you stop backing up. If your car is like this, they're going to stop right back there at where it is. And if you turn the wheels the opposite way, they're going to go back that way. Or still, it's just for reference. They are not the perfect backup system. Cameras are just for reference. Most of them say check your surroundings. That means look in your mirror. That's simple. So that's my rant. Well, my rants for today. Next, I want to thank all my new and old subscribers. My newest one, they left a name in his Indian spirit. Thank you. Thank you to all of you guys that continue watching my videos and spend 15, 20 minutes with me while I sometimes good information, sometimes I rant, but I appreciate it for you sticking around. I had to write notes down. Boswell's meetup. Let me know what date works best for you. October 28th or November 4th. Both are Saturdays. I'm good for either one of those days. The first weekend, October 4th, I know a couple people that can't make it, and I probably have a birthday party to attend also. So what dates work best for you? If you intend on coming to the meetup, please leave a comment in the comment section so we can try to get a count of who wants to show up, who can make it one of those 2 days. I had a comment on Bean's videos. I'm waiting for him to get back and tell me which one of those dates that he can make, or if he can make either one of them, and then we can decide. I'm good with almost any date except for the first weekend. So, there you have it. I believe that's all I have. I tried making this video about 4 or 5 times so far, so I'm going to let this one be the one. So, remember, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And with that being said, until next time, you know what to do. Stuff them and puff.